Oh, hello, all my gorgeous brothers and sisters. I'm sorry that I'm lying like this, but it's very cold here in the UK, so I just need my duvet cover to keep me warm and everything. I've got this duvet cover. It's like a unicorn one and everything. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to share this Bible verse with you and everything that I read at the church today. Yesterday, I mean. I read it at church on the Sabbath on Saturday because it was to remember when we lost a member of the church and we had a memorial for her and everything. And here is the Bible verse. It's from 1 Thessalonians 4:13-18. It's about believers who have died. And brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who have fallen asleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. According to the Lord's word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel and the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. So, even when we lost loved ones and everything, some people, like if you've lost anybody, a friend, a sibling, a parent, or even a child, or your significant other or something, um, you know, and they're asleep in the grave waiting for Jesus to come. We do have that hope that at the resurrection we will be reunited with our loved ones again, and I look forward to that time and everything. And there's a lot of talks about the raptures happening and everything on the YouTubes, and that some people said that he's going to come in September, some in October, and some are saying that he's going to come early November and that. But you know, whenever he does come, because nobody knows the day or hour, but whenever Jesus does come, we have to just be ready at all times for him and everything, because we're his bride, and and everything. So we just have to keep our oils whoops, I'm going into the wrong bit here. I want to go on my Facebook and share with you a poem that I wrote about well, it's not a rhyming poem and everything. I was just about going to tell you what it's all about, but maybe you will um come to think what it is, and once I read the poem, I'll explain it to you a bit more. So anyway, here is my poem. Oaks sway to welcome her. Courageously she starts her unknown path, inhales new fresh air, through her nostrils the sweet dew. At the brisk new light, daring to walk where others have. At the rise of the sun, sunlight smirks along depths. Among the rose and thorns, she spots eggs and shells, ready to emerge and be free. First buds show, lambs leap, forest comes alive, bluebells shine bright blue, forming a carpet. Longing to see flowers and plants to grow, she digs into the soil depth secrets. Malus, demestica, charm her with the fruit. As they smile sweet, she bites the sweet and crisp fruit. Through the whispering tree leaves, birds chirp, song praising God of all. Grateful for their lives, they sing up to heaven's skies. The mysterious becomes peaceful. Birds fly, the clock known to all flies. Shadows come but fade into memories. Streams flow but disappear. Deer, squirrels, foxes run into the moonlight. The sunset, leaving behind golden rays of light. Her journey has ended. Now moonlight calls her to a place where many others have gone before. Yet she is not afraid. So basically, it's a walk. It's got twofold meaning. One is that it's just simply somebody taking a walk in the forest in the morning, starting in the morning and ending at the night time when her journey ends. And metaphorical, the metaphorical deeper meaning of that is about somebody's life from birth to death, and you know it's like the oats sway to welcome her. So it's like when a person is born, people are welcome, you into life. People will welcome you into their life, into your life also. And as before you start a day of life, and that there's unknown paths, meaning that you do not know, that baby cannot know what their life is going to be like. And at birth, you're given the life of breath. Inhale new fresh air, which for me represents the breath of God. She's given the breath of God through her nostrils. And the breath of God is sweet, so she breathes the breath of nostrils, the sweet dew through her nostrils. So at the brisk new light, meaning her day's begun, daring to walk where others have. So many people have been born and started their lives at the sunrise of their sun. So everybody's born at different times. So it's the rise of their personal sun. Sunlight smirks along depths. So life is there waiting for her life to start and everything. Among the rose and thorns, meaning, she doesn't know what her life is going to bring, but life can bring, both roses and thorns, and, good about the good with the bad, or the rough with the smooth, as the saying says. You have to take the rough with the smooth sometimes, as you go on a little bit in your life and everything start, going along in your life, you realise that, there are ups and downs in life, in everything that happens, and that and she spots eggs and shells. So there's new sort of like adventures for her ready to emerge, and her wanting to experience them all and everything. And then first buds show, so this child is starting to grow, and she's starting to leap around in her life like lamb's first leaps. And then, she really starts experiencing life. So forest comes alive, bluebells shine blooming the full carpet. Yeah, so she's starting to really experience life and taking it on. And then when you're a child, it says longing to see flowers and plants to grow. So when you're a child and everything, you always long to, grow up and everything. And she digs into the soil depth secrets, and you as a child, you start to learn and start to get experiences, and start to become experienced and experience life. But then there's the Malus demestica, which is the name of an apple tree. And in the Bible, although we don't know, a specific apple tree, if it was specifically an apple tree, because the Bible doesn't say what it was, but obviously we know the story of the Garden of Eden where um the serpent deceived Adam and Eve with their fruit and everything, or deceived Eve first, and she gave the fruit to you know like to her husband Adam and everything. So you know um that there could be other things in their life that try to deceive her in a sense, into wanting to um experience things that are not so good. Um, for example, maybe some doctrines and teachings that seem attractive, but in the end, aren't really that good. So that tree is trying to tempt her into, becoming, having a wisdom that is not so good. The wisdom, pure wisdom, comes from God and everything, is what I'm saying. But you could have a worldly wisdom that God would rather, you know, us not sort of like dwell into, like the occult, for example. It might seem attractive to um, you know, certain people, but God wouldn't want anyone to go down that road. And they smile sweet, pretending that everything's good and everything. And sometimes she takes the bite, sweet crisp fruit. Sometimes it goes down roads that she shouldn't. But at the end of the day, you know, should always come back to God, and know that God's way is the best. You know, through the whispering tree leaves. So I had a thought once that maybe I mean, this is just fantasy ideas of mine and everything because I got a sharp mind and everything. But I once had a thought about trees and their leaves, and each leaf containing all kinds of secrets and everything. You know, so she is discovering more secrets. Sometimes those secrets aren't good though. Some of them secrets are good, but um you know, if the Holy Spirit's talking to you and everything, what He reveals to you is good, for example. But if you're like whispering gossip and everything, then you shouldn't really be listening to it. But obviously, everybody's human, and sometimes we tend to listen to both the good and the bad at times. But hopefully, we would choose to listen to the good most of the time. But anyway, the birds chirp songs praising God of all. So if you learn to listen more to the Holy Spirit and the way that He leads you, rather than the lies of the enemy and everything, you can really be free in knowing God and knowing Jesus, just like a bird is free, and that will you know cause any soul to praise God of all, and to chirp songs of glory to Jesus. They are grateful for their lives, they are grateful for their life in Jesus, and they sing up to the heaven skies. And now the mysterious becomes the peaceful. So, the mysteries of life, wondering what life is all about, stressing about things, what the future holds, and mysterious of what the future holds. We can let that all go because we know, Jesus, and we know who holds the future. We don't know the future, but we know who holds that future. So that's when the mysterious can become the peaceful, you see. And then as she gets on into her lives, probably she's about my age now because I'm coming up to 50 almost. I'll be 50 on the 31st of January next year. So that's only 2 months away. So I'm kind of like, I guess, in the autumn of my life now. Yeah, so the birds fly, and that to me is representing the years flying away. I once was a child, and then I was a teenager. Well, I was a baby first, obviously, and then I was a child, and then I was a teenager, and I was a young lady, and I was very naive, and I did listen to a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, like people, for example, not so much the occult and things like that. I've always been against the occult, but people's, um, other people, that I shouldn't have done that maybe led me astray for there for example, you know, I sometimes, but I always come back um to listening to Jesus more and knowing that I made a mistake and everything. And as the birds fly, and then your years pass, you become more wiser and everything. And the clock known to all flies, well, that's kind of like hopefully obvious. It just means that you know, the time of our clock, the time of our lives is just ticking away and ticking away. Shadows come, but fade into memories. We've had, like lots and lots of memories of the past, things that we've been, places that we've been to, people that we met, people that we known who have passed and or come and gone into our lives. Just any and every memory really. They come, but then they fade into memories and everything. Because we no longer should live in the past. We should live in the present. And the streams flow but disappear again. It's the same thing. Things that have happened in the past, but no longer to be remembered. Deer, squirrels, foxes run into the moonlight. Now, I know I said about them being animals and everything, but I was actually thinking about human beings here. And if you think about it, you know, people that we known and loved, you know, they run into the moonlight, meaning that they run. In other words, they run into the end of their lives. The moonlight comes at the end of the day, which is an ending, and so it's the end of life for some people that we known and loved. Some people, that we used to know at birth. For example, our grandparents, they were there, but they've run into the end of their lives, and they run into the moonlight. Um, the sun sets, leaving behind the golden ray of light. So when they pass by and everything, golden rays of light means that we can think about them in fondness, the golden rays of light that they left behind, the things that they said and done that ever touched our hearts, memories that's touched our hearts and everything. I remember one lady that used to belong to our church and everything, and this was years ago, and I've known her you know since the beginning, really, since I was 3. So she was more like extended family to me than just a church member and everything. Um, Her name was Christine, and she was such a lovely lady. She was a good example of a golden ray of light. She was just everybody in the church thought that she was so lovely. She was just one of the most sweetest, humbling, kind people that you could ever meet. Actually, really, to be honest, she would you know she would she would give up her last loaf of bread for somebody that was hungry in the street, and she would um do so much to help others and give so much to charity and go out all the way to help others and charity and everything. And she lived quite a long way from church, and even though she suffered with her bad legs and back and everything, she would catch lots of different buses to get to church because she wanted to be there because she really loved Jesus, and she really wanted to be there to be with, to help and encourage us at church and everything. And I mean, to me, um that is the truest example of true Christianity. It's not about Christianity is not about how many Bible books we know in the Bible and everything. Um, and it's not about being a high status up in the church and everything. But it's about, being a humble and loving Jesus with all that you got, and just, giving to others when you hardly have anything yourself. And to me, that's what Christine was like. She was such a dear old soul, she was. And yeah, I mean, I think about her, and in a lot of ways, she was like a grandparent to me too. And yeah, she sort of like was one of the people in not only in my life but in lots of other people's lives that left a good example really of, and that of how we should already be like and everything. So yeah, I believe that she'll be in heaven, and that she will get a great reward, and that for her kindness and everything. And um yeah, she was literally like, as Jesus said, gave an example in the Bible of the woman that gave her last penny and everything. Christine was definitely like that. She was. So that's a good example that I can give you in anything and everything of somebody that was a true Christian. Anyway, sorry, I kind of like rumbled along a bit and got off of it a bit when I was meant to be telling my poem and everything. But yeah, I just had to say that as an example and everything. Anyway, so her journey has ended. Obviously that's the inevitable. What happens to all of us when we come to the end of our life? Now Moonlight calls her. Obviously, before we are laid to rest. Sometimes people know when they are passing by. Some other people don't know, but you know, um, it knocks. The inevitable knocks on our door at the end of the day and everything. But and then she goes to a place where many others have gone before. So now she lays to rest, yet she is not afraid. And that's the end of my poem. That's from Tina T. Jensen, and I might copy and paste this to you on the video and everything when I finish this YouTube and everything. So yeah, it's just about life and death and everything that YouTube video is, and everything. I mean that poem is and everything. And yeah, about my books and stuff. I'm still writing my books, and I'm still writing my Christian stories and stuff. And I'm still writing through. There's several different stories really that I need to publish. I got one about a creative garden and everything. Where the children find their garden through being creative and everything. I got that inspiration from the secret garden and everything. And it just sort of like tries to emphasize the way that God has given us all a gift, and how we can use it for his glory and everything. And yeah, just anyway, I'm sorry for the rambling on and everything. I'm just going to see if I can find any other Bible verses that I put on my Facebook page that might help out a bit. I'm just trying to find something here about the last days. And anyway, we know that we are near the last days. Now I'm gonna just read this to wrap this YouTube up. I'm just gonna read this Bible verse to you. Because this is definitely what's happening now. I think I said it in my last video, but I might read it again. So 2 Timothy 3. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusers, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, having nothing to do with such people. They are the kind of women who goes into their home to grumble of women who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires. So yeah, I mean, it talks about all these things that are going to happen in the last days. Well, you know, we're going to endure it to the end, and like, and even if we end up dying before, you know, Jesus comes and everything, like this Bible verse says, you have a faith in Jesus, you know, even those who are asleep in the grave, you know, we have a faith in Jesus because we believe in what he did for us, because he died for us and everything, and he's coming again at the resurrection, at the second coming. Those who are sleeping in Jesus will be resurrected, and they will have everlasting life. So, you know, our grandparents, our parents, all those that we lost and everything. I know, and friends that we've lost. I know that it's sad now, and I know that we grieve for them now, and even pets and everything, because pets are important. They're part of our families now, and they're part of our families also. But we just sort of like take heart, because we know that they will be resurrected. We will see our grandparents, we will see our parents, we will see our pets. I'll see Christine Dore again. I'll see the lady that, you know, we had also the other lady that we had the memorial for, and our other friends and stuff. Yeah, we'll all see them in heaven again, and we'll be with Jesus, and we'll be with each other. We'll be with friends that who have once we were in contact with and we lost contact with, and you know, at the resurrection, when we just hold on to that hope, and like my poem says, you know, at the end of her life, and the moonlight called her, she wasn't afraid, and you know why she's not afraid? Um, you know why I wrote that in there? It's because she has a faith in Jesus Christ, so she's not afraid to die. And I was really thinking of applying that to myself, that poem, because I know that even when it's time for me to go, I'm not going to be afraid, because I got a faith, a blessed hope, an assurance in Jesus Christ. And I pray that for all of you to have that too. And yeah, I just hope that you are blessed from that. And God bless you. And remember, we have a blessed hope in Jesus. We will be resurrected again, and even if we die before he comes, and remember that, and that will be the most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day in all of eternity. And it's not going to be long until Jesus comes, you know. I believe, I wouldn't be surprised even if it's within the next 5 years. As Doug actually said, we are on we've only got one seal to go, and then the last seal of all will be at the second coming. So like Doug Batchelor said, because he's sound-minded, he's a good sound teacher, and I believe him, we haven't got far to go. It could be very soon, and soon and very soon we are going to see the King, and I'll leave you with those words. God bless you, and bye for now.